I'm not going to lose this kid. If I have anything to do with it, I'm not going to lose this kid because I love her too much. Having a child go through those things. That's not what you think of when you hold your baby. Is to go, one day this child is going to think about leaving this earth. Like, you don't think about that. You think about all the things they're going to be.
It's just you have that achy feeling inside of you. I ran to other things to try and feel that, to make me not feel bad like that.
I'm Daniel Faulkner. I'm the host of the Next Generation podcast. This is our second podcast, and it's on just the topic of depression, which we feel like a lot of students go through and a lot of parents want to help with this issue that's growing. Introduce yourself. Why are you sitting here at like 9 p.m.? Arts History of Brookwood, and
my husband's on staff here, and we do lots of stuff with the church. My 2 kids, Ashley and Jonathan. Ashley, they're in their 20s now.
I'm Elli Hilton. I am in 8th grade, and I'm here to share my story about how I had anxiety and depression my whole life. And I hope that I can help anyone else. I'm Jaycee Williams. I go to Parkway, and I'm a sophomore, and I've gone to Brookwood for almost 5 years now.
Start with you. You said you've been dealing with your mental health. What's it like? Like you said something like 3 years?
3 years.
Tell us about that.
Like, I've kind of known that I was struggling with it because I could just tell, like, I was just different. But, like, I just had a lot of loss in my life more recently this year. And so I realized how much I really was struggling and how deep of a hole I was in.
Okay, so tell us about that hole.
I just really started struggling in 7th grade when I was so quiet and I wasn't really social at all, and I didn't talk to anybody, and I just felt alone. And going into my freshman year, just experienced a lot of loss with losing my dad. And it's just this like deep feeling, like ache in you.
You said 3 years ago, though, there was a start of it, but your dad, you lost him a year ago. Talk to me about that journey.
I was just like distance from everybody. Like, it just kept going from there. Like, I didn't talk to anybody. I just felt alone constantly.
So how did school pressures like make things worse, if you will?
Because like, I didn't have any friends, like, completely alone. And on top of that, I had so much schoolwork and teachers constantly mad, and just being alone at school and having so much to do is just not a good mix.
No, it sounds hard. Thanks for sharing that. A lot of people aren't, bold enough or strong enough to share that they feel a certain way, but I think you sharing that, other people feel the similar ways. So, what could have helped, or what things did help from where you were?
I think what could have helped is people being there for me, because in that moment I just felt so alone, and like I just really wanted somebody there for me, even if they didn't care about me. Like, I just wanted someone there. And what really helped was just my church family, just them being there for me all the time.
Church family. So what specific things? Did you have examples of that?
Just people from the church reaching out to me, inviting me to stuff, and just wanting to get to know me better.
So like literally just anything. Like,
yeah.
It was like people your age, or like
it was
small group leaders too?
Yeah.
Is there anybody in specific that did a good job of that, if you will?
I think you and Elli really have helped me a lot, because y'all just showed me that y'all were there for me. Then.
Oh, thanks. Didn't know I'd make the list. That's great. So what about me or Elli? What about us made you feel that way?
Like, just that feeling of knowing that if I needed someone, that I could go to y'all, because y'all wouldn't judge me for anything, and that y'all are there in like a friend way, and like you want to help me grow closer to God.
Consistency, I hear. Wanting to help you in deeper spiritual things, and not judgment. Like, you trusted us.
Yeah.
You felt like you could talk to us. That's great. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk to Elli now. What you got for us with your story in regards to depression?
So I really had like depression and just anxiety pretty much my whole life. It obviously got worse this past few years, just being in middle school and being a teenage girl. But it really all started when I lost my uncle to suicide. And that really just like tore my whole family apart, and that's when I was 7 when that happened, so I was really young when I started like understanding what it kind of all meant. But I always dealt with that obviously my whole life, but the past few years, it's just been really bad, and I've always had, those ups and down moments of like I would just get in a bad hole, just thinking bad about myself, and I would always have so much anger towards others for no reason. Just like I would just always be angry, and even my friends would realize like I wouldn't be myself. But I always knew God, obviously, but anytime I would be in those deep pits of depression and just anger, I would always end up running back to God, because I would fall out of my love for Him. I always believed in Him. I always had faith, but I never took my action and reach for the love, because I would just be in such a hole and I would just ignore it. So I would always just end up running back to Him, and then I would get so happy and I would just be the person that I knew I could be, and then something happens and then I just go right back into that hole. Like Jaycee said, like it's just you have that achy feeling inside of you, and it's just you feel so just I always felt so angry at the world and angry at myself and others. And you just feel like nothing has meaning. And it's just like, what's the point?
Sounds like it was kind of like a spiral downward.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like it was hard to get out of. I both used the word hole, like a pit. Mm-hmm. Is that just, I guess, because it's hard to get out of?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just turn it off. You can't just be undepressed. Would that be accurate?
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's not like you're always sad all the time. Like, you can feel happy, but like, you still like have that empty feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know for me, like I ran to other things to try and feel that, to make me not feel bad like that, but nothing ever like filled me like God did.
So y'all are saying the only true source of satisfaction that y'all found was God.
Yeah.
That was lasting.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful.
No matter whoever I would run to or whatever I would run to, it may have filled me in the moment, but it would never fill me overall.
When you say that, turn to God, describe that. Is that reading your Bible? Is that like some moment when He spoke to you? Is it through His people?
So for me personally, it's really just like, whenever I'm in that hole, I obviously am not in my Bible, I'm not praying or anything, but it'll just either be one day at the altar or in worship, or that one night that I do pray. It's after a long span of depression, and I'll just feel Him, and He's just like, He just finally talks to me, and He's just like, I finally just snap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, there's no reason for me to, because what I realize is that I'm making myself feel this way, that there's things in my past that I hold on to that make me feel this way, but at the end of the day, there's no reason. Well, obviously I'm not saying that it's invalid to feel that way, but at the end of the day, you should always run to the things that will fill you and that you know will fill you, other than just staying in this hole just because you know you can't get out of it, even though that I know that I can run to Him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's just like He'll just speak to you, and you just finally open your Bible again, or you finally pray and you're like, Lord, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've been distant from you. I know it, but I need to stop.
Yeah. I remember being at Challenge Week this summer, and I just went down to the altar that Friday, and I was just talking to God because I just felt so far from Him, and I knew it was because the way I felt, like I was just so angry with Him all the time, and I wasn't getting my Bible, like I was just too mad at Him for it. And so I was asking Him to show Himself to me and just like, you know, like, if you're real, why are you doing this to me? Like, everyone talks about how you're such a loving God. And he just really showed himself to me through all the people that I surround myself with and who is truly there for me. He showed me that his love through them. So,
Sound like y'all really got out of that pit from the Lord.
yeah.
And so, what would you tell to someone who hasn't gotten that kind of victory yet?
I know, like, when something is happening to you, you don't feel great in the moment, and you feel like God is weakening you or doing stuff to you, and he's not ever trying to weaken you, and he's just trying to show you that he's the only way and that you need him. Like, you only need him.
Melissa, tell us a little bit about your story. As I've told you before, you were a fighter and you never gave up on Ashley.
Yeah.
And I think that you getting involved and jumping in to help was radical for her life. You definitely, at the very least, don't want to do nothing. That's the worst you could do. So tell us what was going on with Ashley and your story there.
So, I guess to go from the beginning, just to recap, she was always dealing with anxiety as a kid. Always. Always asking if there's going to be a tornado. Always getting overstimulated. I didn't know this until she got older, is she would say she would be at recess and she would, if she saw a cloud, she'd go to be by the door to make sure if it started raining or something. When she was a kid, she was going to be able to get inside. And so she really has all her life dealt with this. So in 7th, 8th, 9th grade, she bottomed out. And, you know, I think it was some sort of relationship thing that she just got hurt, and then boom, it just spiraled. Y'all have said spiral before, and she did. She spiraled. We got her to a counselor who sat me down and said, this is what she's dealing with. She had, suicidal thoughts in her head. I didn't know that. I didn't like to hear that. It really hurt to hear that. I felt a failure as a parent to hear that. I felt helpless as a parent to hear that. And so I felt really helpless for about a week and very upset all the time. And then just decided, I'm not going to lose this kid. If I have anything to do with it, I'm not going to lose this kid because I love her too much.
Amen.
And so I started fighting, and it was hard to fight. Some days it was really hard because of the things that she was thinking about herself was at, I don't know a better word to say, at war or at odds of what God says about her. And so that's where a lot of our headbutting would come in, is like, that's not who you are. That's not who you are. But we'd go at it. And I would make sure that we would resolve it. I think I had already said a story about us coming home from church, and we had gotten into an argument. Jonathan was in the back seat. And I did. That's one thing I will say is I always try to keep in mind Jonathan too. Because when you have, like, as a parent, when you have a kid in crisis, you tend to put all your energy to that. But what I didn't want to do is forget him, because he's just as important as she is. So I really tried to make sure he got my time and my attention as well, and know that we fight for him as well, because she did take a lot of the energy, as she should have, because she was in crisis. But that didn't mean anything needed to be taken away from him. Anytime I did something wrong, I wasn't afraid to go to Ashley and say, I know I messed it up here. I know I lost my temper. I know I did this wrong. What I found as a parent is that if you're honest with your kids and you come at them out of love, that you guys can be really forgiving of your parents. You just want to know that they care. I love that kid. I didn't have kids to not love them.
So you fought for Ashley.
I fought for Ashley.
Stayed involved.
The one of the things that that always comes to mind is when we were fighting, and I told her I would fight anyone for you, and right now I'm fighting you for you. I wasn't gonna let go. Like you and I are at odds here, but I'm not letting go. If somebody came and were saying and doing things to my daughter that she was saying and doing to herself, I would go to war with them. Yeah, like you're not gonna hurt my daughter. You're not gonna be saying those things to my daughter, and the things that she was saying to herself in her head, the things that I guess I can go here. There was an aspect of self-harm in there not a lot, but it was there an aspect in there. So if I knew someone was harming my daughter, I'd be fighting them. So I wasn't going to let her go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she was the one that was hurting herself at this point. So I'm going to fight you for yourself, for you, because I knew there was a way out of it. I knew she wouldn't always be there. She does still deal a lot with depression and anxiety. She just does. But we could communicate really well. So I wasn't afraid to start medication. When she said I would like to try medication, we did. And then they tried to up her dose. And she called me one day. I was at work. And she said, I think that that was not a good idea to up my dosage. And I said, okay, why? And she said, because I just sat down and wrote down a suicide plan. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to back that right back down. We're going to take that back down. And we called her counselor. And, but that was at a point where we got to where she could be really honest about things. And also as a parent, I had to learn, I couldn't freak out every time she said something to me. I had to be able to keep my calm and listen to her. Like, listen to what she was telling me, and give her the opportunity to get through it and, like, to talk to me, not interrupt her. Let her talk through it and know that she could trust me to not just go, what are you talking about? To go, let's talk through this then.
Well,
so
you're level-headed.
That was really hard.
Tried to help.
Because that's hard to do. Because as a parent, you're reactionary, right? Like, you grow up doing that. Your kid runs in the street. Get out of the street. You're
fix it too.
And you're a fixer. And then y'all start getting to an age where y'all are starting to get independent, and we have to start learning how to let go in stages. But y'all's problems get harder and harder to solve. I can't put a Band-Aid on what was going on in her mental health. I can't kiss that boo-boo. Some of the things that were happening to her were out of my control. So that's really a hard place to be as a parent. And, yeah. So those were some really tough days that, I always say I'm grateful for you because you were just amazing. If y'all don't know that Daniel's amazing, Daniel's amazing. If Daniel has one fan, it's me. If Daniel has no fans, I'm dead. Right?
Yeah.
What I mean by that is obviously you were someone who would check on me, and you were praying for my daughter. You had just as much love for my daughter as any of your other students, and you would reach out to her, not like come in my office and talk about your depression, but in ways where you left the door open for her to talk to you about some things. And so that was very helpful. That's another thing I'd say as a parent. Don't be afraid to let other people pour into your kids. I know sometimes, like, you can be offended as a mom, go, well, so you going and talking to so-and-so instead of her mom. That's okay. If it's a godly person and someone who's speaking truth into her life, talk away to my child. Yeah. Build into her. Some of the best things for her are people who maybe 5, 6, 7 years older than her that had walked before her that would take an interest in her.
Well, I appreciate the thanks. I think it's all the Lord of noticing people that are in need. My heart for those on the outskirts, if you will, and God has given me a care. There's probably a lot I did wrong too, or didn't know for sure. ignorance for sure in my age. We're talking about what, like 25, 26, 27.
You had just gotten here.
So young, but I cared about Ashley, cared about Jonathan. I think they knew that. So if there's anything that worked, it was they knew that I loved them and cared for them and would advocate for them and not judge first, but love first and try to help. So that may have helped build rapport.
It helped a lot. It did help a lot. Christian-based counseling?
Yes.
So important. I'd found some pictures somebody had done, posted on social media or something. It was just like a professional photographer. Mm-hmm. And it was just doing the different, a visualization of the different mental health issues. And one was anxiety. And it was a girl just sitting. And then all of these, it's like lightning bolts coming at her as she was just sitting. And Ashley said, that's exactly what it feels like. It just feels like...
For anxiety.
Yes. And then for depression, because she deals with both, it was a girl just underwater. Just enough. And she said, that is so much how I felt. And it really helped me to put a feeling, to understand more of how she was feeling.
Yeah.
To see that visualization of that and go, oh, I get it. Like, I get it if you're constantly feeling, and it helped me learn to give her some grace. You know, like, we have family stuff. My family is crazy and big and loud. And it's given me the ability to go, okay, like she'll go, I gotta go. I'm like, step away. Like, she's overstimulated. She needs to downtime. And it's helped me to go, okay, instead of, why don't you spend time with the family? You know, why are you just going off to your room? Why are you da-da-da-da? Instead of just really understanding what's really going on with her. Yeah. So, and that's hard.
We definitely fought for her unique needs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess as parents, you know, you don't want your kids to struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No parent who just loves their children wants your kids to struggle. But yeah. So to know that she was struggling like she was hurt me. I had to let go of expectations of what I thought she should be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And let her be her.
Mm-hmm.
And let her know that the things she deals with, mental health wise, is not who she is. Like, wow. Because I think that is a temptation when you're dealing with things like that. I am anxiety. I am depression. And you're not. You deal with those things, but what you are is unique. What you are is loved by God. What you are is, He takes joy in His creation. That's who you are. Wow. Like he had a whole plan for you. So yeah.
You know, it's just so prevalent and it's rising in this generation. So I do feel like this is urgent. And I asked the Lord that I would never lose one of ours. Yeah. So I think of that when you talk about if I hadn't been here or I hadn't done this, maybe we'd have lost Ashley. Or if God hadn't, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and then to hear her say, I'm still here because I didn't want you to be the one to find me. It made me realize that I still had an influence with her. That, you know, like, there's a love there.
You had a voice. You had a relationship.
And I had a responsibility to be there for her. And it's not a selfish thing. It is a very they're hurt having a child go through those things. That's not what you think of when you hold your baby. Is to go, one day this child is going to think about leaving this earth. Like, you don't think about that. You think about all the things they're going to be.
What are the things for application that parents should do?
When you realize your child's struggling, grieve that, but then dig your feet in and get to work. Like, what is going to help my child? If it's counseling, I mean, there's even if you can't afford a counselor, there are resources here at the church that you, Joe, John Harp, whoever, have experience in counseling. Take advantage of those resources. And I would say Bible Christian based, because her counselor was not always sitting there going, God said this, 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 but his worldview was a Christian worldview.
I think that's important.
He could speak those things into her without beating a Bible across her head every time she went in.
Yeah.
I think that there are very important things that a Christian worldview will not say or
Yeah.
will tend towards, and it is a vital piece to make sure that person who's counseling and giving advice and thoughts has a Christian worldview.
I would also say, as a parent, deal with your own stuff. I had stuff I never dealt with. And that you think it's not going to affect, it does. You got to deal with your own stuff too.
I hear you. What are other things, if you had a list, things that can help if you're kind of reaching for what to do?
Spend time with the Lord. I would drop them off at school, and I would pray for their campus, pray for them, pray for their friends, and I would get home and I would just talk to God, to go to God and go,
Fake.
I'm hurting. Like, this hurts. I have no idea what to do. And
You said look into Christian counseling.
yes.
You said be in the Word. You said check in on your kids, even if they don't appear to want to be checked in on.
Yeah.
It's your job to try.
Admit when you're wrong.
Check in with your kids. Admit when you're wrong. Apologize. Again, the main theme is get involved and fight. Better to do something and even make some mistakes than to do nothing. If not you, then who? Who else is there for this kid than you to possibly turn their life around? Not based on any power you have in and of yourself, based on the role that God has given you as a parent to fight for them. And you said fight. Sometimes you're fighting with them for them. Yeah. Because you're trying to help them. Yeah. Shoot, I didn't act like I was listening to my dad. I'd argue with my parents and I would talk back, but then that voice of their comments to me became part of my inner voice and it resonated. What should we try not to do?
Like you said, parents blame themselves. Avoid making it about you. Mm-hmm. Because your kid's not going to feel like they're heard if you go, I'm dealing with the depression. Well, I did it. It's my fault. Okay. It's not helpful. I mean, it's a real feeling. We have those real feelings of we've done something because, we didn't do something right. But you got to get out of that and start going, it's about y'all. It's about my kid. I would say that. And don't give up. Because it's real easy some days to go, this is never going to change. This child's always going to be dealing with this. And that's not true.
Yeah.
Good. Ellie, what should a parent not do?
Just and also don't just make them, like I said, don't make them feel like their feelings are invalid or that they're crazy for feeling that
way. What are
way.
ways parents do that?
Just be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal.
Okay. Dismiss.
Like, you're going to have all these feelings in your life. You're just going to have to suck it up and be
lecture doesn't help.
No. You have to feel that they're there.
Yeah, why doesn't there's probably times for speaking truth and encouraging, but as far as just a lecture or lobbing things, why doesn't that, help you, or why does it make it worse?
I just feel like it's more of like a demand, like, don't feel this way. Stop. Just
it's not helpful.
Don't
it's
do
just like
no. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do this, blah, blah, blah.
So it's too quick.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem to really be understanding you.
Yeah.
And it's not walking with you. It's just kind of a get out of my hair. It sounds like you're saying it comes across like an inconvenience.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good. Anything else what not to do?
Just, don't push it down. Don't make your child feel like their problem is so little, because it might not be, the most important thing that's going to happen in their life, but in that moment, they feel like that's the only thing that's going to happen, and they feel like that's the end, no matter if it's not going to be the end. And just, it's good to be there for them, but don't hover over them.
Sounds like timing is important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So paying attention to when you want to talk or when you can talk, not forcing everything all the time on a parent's agenda.
Yeah.
Would that be a fair
basically
understanding? Okay, well, thank you guys for coming. I think this was a good discussion to try to understand what y'all are going through.
Mm-hmm.
It's 9:30 p.m.
Next generation.